Hi everyone, McFeeds here, coming with some more content. We're gonna be trying something new. We're doing a match commentary for our red match of the week, our red group match of the week for week 1, between Buff Shaman round 3 and Maj0r's Penguins. I have not been spoiled on this match yet. I haven't seen the games, so it should be pretty interesting to kind of have a raw reaction to the plays and the sets and the actual match itself. So before we get into the actual matches, I kind of wanted to do a little bit of a breakdown between the two teams, what Pokemon that I think are strong, which 6 Pokemon do I think are coming from each team, and who I think just in general has a upper hand in the matchup. So here we can see the two drafts broken down. In blue on the top, we have Buff Shaman, coached by Kurido, and in red on the bottom, we have Maj0r's Penguins, coached by Maj0r. I want to go through Maj0r's team first, as I think it's a little more plug and play and easier to figure out which 6 are coming. As you can see, it's just hard rain. There's multiple rain sweepers. You've got Pelipper's, your rain setter, and all of your offense revolves around rain. So the obvious 4 that are 100% going to be coming to this game are Pelipper, Amoonguss, Basculegion, and Archaludon. And I think those 4 are going to be coming to basically every single one of Maj0r's matches. You need Pelipper for rain, Basculegion's your best rain sweeper for offense, Archaludon is your other rain sweeper, and just a good special threat on this team, and Amoonguss helps to protect them both as by far the best support Pokemon on this roster. So with those 4 coming, we got to look at the remaining 6 Pokemon on how we think it's going to round out into Kurido's roster. I don't see Heliolisk or Kingdra coming at all. I think Heliolisk doesn't really have anything it can really threaten, aside from maybe Gyarados, but I don't know that that's worth it when you already have Electro Shot Archaludon that can kind of tank a physical hit from Gyarados and then kill it right back. So I don't think you need the extra electric coverage, especially when there's a Follow Me Motor Drive Electivire in play. Kingdra, kind of similar, is just outclassed by Archaludon. I don't know that you're going to have speed control even with Swift Swim, given, there's bulky Tailwinders, there's Liepard and Sneasler with Disruption, with Fake Out, and it can make it a little hard for you to just, outpace this team, especially an Unburdened Sneasler or a Scarf Kartana. And so I think Kingdra kind of gets outsped and outbulked by the balanced team that Kurido has, so I don't see it coming. Out of the remaining ones, I think Arcanine actually has a decent matchup this week. It's really Maj0r's best answer into the 2 Steel types on Kurido's team, who neither of which want to eat and Intimidate either. So you get value just switching it in. It basically forces a Terra out of either of those 2, and then it can put in some work if they don't Terra. I'm not 100% sold on it though, because you're bringing a Fire type into a Rain team, and you don't even know if they're gonna bring one of those 2 Steel types. You don't have any Fairy types that are super threatened. Maybe Kartana comes for its grass moves on Primarina, Basculegion, that kind of stuff, and its immunity to Rage Powder and Spore. Gastrodon is also a little weird in this matchup. Usually you want it to be that Storm Drain, help protect your team from water types. Most of Maj0r's team is already resistant to water, so unless he feels that there's a big problem with Gyarados or Tapu Fini or something else Terra watering and pressuring his team, I don't really see it coming, but there is some potential there. Primarina doesn't look horrible. It gets pressured out really hard by Sneasler, but its special bulk is, great at checking the Latias, the Sylveon, and the Tapu Fini, which, on paper can cause a lot of problems for Maj0r's team. He kind of needs to bring that Fairy type to deal with the Latias. Either that or just, click Ice Beam into it. And just the added special bulk really, really helps here. The last Pokemon, which I think is probably the most likely to be on the 6 that Maj0r brings, is Munkidori. I think it has really good disruption tools with stuff like Fake Out and Parting Shot to kind of keep tempo up. You know, you can Parting Shot onto a Gouging Fire or Latios and reduce its damage output, while, you know, cycling in your Arcanine in the back or cycling in your Pelipper to reset Rain. And then outside of that, it puts really good offensive pressure on a lot of Kurido's team. The poison coverage is really nice to hit Sylveon and Tapu Fini. The psychic coverage is really nice to just absolutely nuke Sneasler. And plus, if you Terra it, you can cover some of these other things, like a Terra Fire Monkey Dory to chunk Kartana or Sizzler out of the game, or, you know, maybe even Terra Ground doesn't look bad to help deal with Electivire or Gouging Fire. On the other side of the matchup, Kurido basically needs to have an answer to Rain. You know it's coming, you know it's the main game plan, you need to help deny weather or be able to play through it. And so Liepard is, in my mind, 100% coming in this matchup. It is Prankster Sunny Day is invaluable, and I have a feeling is going to be the biggest point of contention in this match. If Maj0r can help or can prevent Liepard from getting that Sunny Day off, or getting enough value before the Sunny Day goes off, then, you know, he's going to win out. But if, you know, the Sunny Day comes off and it absolutely destroys your entire game plan of your Rain mode, that Liepard is going to be so invaluable. Aside from that, Tapu Fini is also a really good bring here. It can eat basically any move from Basculegion or Archaludon thanks to its typing. I mean, aside from Electro Shot, obviously. But it's just really bulky, and it can sit there and take the hits that it needs to, and it is hard walls Kingdra if Kingdra decides to, or if Maj0r decides to bring Kingdra. So I think those are my two no-brainers, are Liepard, Tapu Fini. If you're bringing Tapu Fini, and it's going to be your core, you know, bulky offense Pokemon, I think you need to bring Motor Drive Electivire to help out. Being able to redirect those Electro Shots, or if Heliolisk comes, it's Thunderbolts. To help protect your Tapu Fini, I could see being a really potent pair. Outside of those three, I think it's a little bit tougher. I don't think you bring both Scizor and Kartana, even though, you know, 4x Fire Weakness in the Rain only becomes a regular Fire Weakness. You can kind of abuse it, but you don't really need the Scizor Bullet Punch to deal with any you know, threatening Fairy types, because Primarina is neutral. So Kartana's probably the better of the two here. It can hit Primarina with grass moves, it can hit Basculegion with grass moves, it gets fighting coverage for Archaludon. So it seems decent into some of the core Pokemon on Maj0r's team, but it gets really scared out by an Arcanine. Gouging Fire, I'm assuming, is coming. It's a really early draft pick that Kurido picked up. It's kind of one of the Pokemon he built his whole team around, and it's fairly bulky. I just think it might be a little awkward in this matchup, because it gets kind of bodied by both Archaludon and Basculegion, unless you're running like a really bulky set. But I could see something like a Terra Ground with like Scarf or Booster Speed to just, you know, 1v1 Archaludon, or like get big damage on anything but Pelipper, because Maj0r's ground resists are pretty bad, and we'll talk more about typing on the next section. So maybe Archaludon has some play here. I think Sneasler probably comes. It's really good paired with Tapu Fini. It gives you, you know, an extremely fast threat with Unburden and Misty Surge, and spamming Dire Claw to have an answer into Primarina, Close Combat to have an answer into Archaludon. I feel like it's a pretty decent bring. I don't know that Gyarados shows up. You know, Electroshot is problematic. If Heliolisk comes, it's problematic. It doesn't really have great offensive coverage to hit anything with Water plus, you know, like Ice Fang, or Water plus Earthquake. So unless you're going to Terra it, I think it's a little weak here. I mean, it can probably 1v1 Basculegion with Intimidate and Crunch. And, you know, Crunch doesn't look bad in a Monkey Dory, so maybe it's not horrible. So I guess my 6 that I would predict from Kurido, Electivire, Liepard, Tapu Fini, no brainers. I see Sneasler being good. And then I'd probably bring like Kartana and Latias, and then drop Gouging Fire. Yeah, I just don't think Gouging Fire is the best matchup. And bulky Latias looks pretty decent into everything but Basculegion, so if the rest of your team can check it, Latias can kind of just maybe Calm Mind Snowball, or just put out immediate pressure. So then looking at the type charts, you can see each team here. Kurido's side on Buff Shaman has a pretty big weakness to ground. No resists, only, and then 2 immunities with Latias and Gyarados. So if we don't think Gyarados is coming, you really only have to deal with Latias, and something like a Terra Ground Archaladon or a Terra Ground Basculegion could put in a lot of work here with just unresisted stab plus, you know, some weaknesses it can take over. On the other side of the coin, Maj0r's team, very similar scenario with 4 ground weaknesses, only immunity being Pelipper, but it's a little risky to Terra Ground into the Rain team when you're going to be eating those water moves constantly. So maybe you run Terra Ground Sneasler on like a really, since it's so fast that you can outpace some of those Swift Swimmers, and it doesn't matter that your Terra Ground defensively, you're just going to kill something offensively. Maj0r also has a bit of a problem with ghost types, and I know Latias gets Shadow Ball, so maybe a Terra Ghost Latias could be pretty annoying to just, you know, muscle its way through the lack of resists. No Dark type, and its only normal type being Maj0r's only normal type being Heliolisk. Yeah, there's not anything crazy on these type charts that make me think any you know, known Terras. I'm assuming if Kartana comes, it's going to be like Terra Water. You know, Electivire comes, it's probably going to be Terra Grass. You know, nothing non-standard to help kind of reduce your issues. Actually, Terra Grass is probably needed on Kurido's team by a couple Pokemon. Terra Grass or Safety Goggles, just to get around Amoonguss Spore and Amoonguss Rage Powder. So that's something that we should probably keep an eye out for. Looking at speed stats, it's, you know, pretty even, but Kurido has the advantage with, you know, Sneasler and Latias outpacing almost all of Maj0r's team, and Kartana basically outpacing all of Maj0r's team. So Maj0r probably needs to have Tailwind on Pelipper or Icy Wind on something like Primarina to help have the speed control matchup. I think he's definitely going to be on the back foot in most leads, as, you know, you don't have that speed control, and there are some powerful threats on Kurido's side that can threaten a turn 1 KO, especially the Sneasler or the Kartana. If you get your lead wrong into the Sneasler, it's forcing you to Terra, or it's picking up a KO on something like Archaladon. So I would give Kurido a slight advantage in this matchup. I think it's probably going to be like a 2-1 for Kurido, but I don't think Maj0r's entirely out of it. I think Kurido's team, if he ends up bringing Kartana, Liepard, Electivire as like kind of, and Sneasler as his core, isn't as bulky as his draft wants. Whereas Maj0r can run some really bulky sets, and if you're just slugging it out, the bulkier team is generally going to be able to eat hits, trade back, and win. Because, you know, it's a 3-hit kill on you, but it's only a 2-hit kill on your opponent, so you can just kind of win out. So yeah, final thoughts before we get into the matches. I think Buff Shaman probably has the slight lead here. Wouldn't be surprised if Maj0r wins. Definitely expect Maj0r to take a game. But yeah, let's get into it. All right, let's get into game 1. We have Buff Shaman, round 3, coached by Kurido on the left side, and Maj0r's Penguins, coached by Maj0r on the right side. Just looking at the teams really quick, Kurido did bring the Gouging Fire, which I think was a little unexpected from what I thought. Whereas the only real standout thing on Maj0r's side is the Kingdra. I initially thought Kingdra wouldn't be that good in this matchup, because I didn't think Gouging Fire would come, but hey, there's double Dragon types now. So if he can get rid of that Tapu Fini, Kingdra might be able to clean up in the endgame. Liepard lead for weather control makes a lot of sense. Tapu Fini, just, good bulk into this team. With no rain lead from Maj0r. Monkey Dory should be able to put some fake out pressure here. Yep, immediately hits into Liepard. And ooh, the Liepard immediately blown back by close combat. And you're probably giving up your Arcanine for that, but the Muddy Water misses. I mean, Maj0r's in such a good position here. Switch out to set his rain, kind of neuter the fire type. Maybe a little greedy protect from Kurido, and the gouging fire is just immediately, neutralized with that parting shot debuff. Maj0r's in a really good spot here with our Chaladon in. I'm not sure, maybe the Wide Guard's protecting for Earthquake, and gouging fire's continuing to set up. Oh, Meteor Beam's just gonna kill this thing. Yep. Goodbye, gouging fire. I mean, this is just done and dusted. Maj0r's got this for free. Yeah, Electivire in the back. I don't think Kurido has enough offense to get through. Oh, the switch out on our Chaladon's a little weird there. Helper lives thanks to Sash. Gets its Tailwind up, which I don't know that it needed. The Monkey Dory should be faster. Maybe you're trying to help set for our Chaladon to clean up in the back. Electivire flinched. Hurricane does decent damage. But yeah, your Pelipper goes down, Monkey Dory's damaged. I mean, it's just so hard for Kurido to come back off that initial play. I don't think he was expecting the Liepard to just die. I mean, Monkey Dory, our Chaladon. I mean, maybe with the Protect, if our Chaladon clicks into the Tapu Fini slot, yeah. Actually, I think Kurido brought it back. That's pretty crazy. If this Muddy Water hit, oh, he still has Terra, the Terra Grass. Electivire lives the hit. The poison's unfortunate, but it still lives. It does its job. Can Tapu Fini clean up the Monkey Dory here with a Muddy Water? Oh, another double miss. And yeah, that's actually it from here. Psychic, close combat. Yeah, Arcanine even lives the Moonblast at -1. And there goes Fini. I mean, well played from Maj0r. He got the lead right, and he, took that momentum all the way through. A couple Muddy Water misses from Tapu Fini is unfortunate, but I mean, it would have made the end game harder, but ultimately I don't know that it mattered. So let's move on to game 2. Fini Terra. Oh, double switch out, and the Electivire ooh, good play from Maj0r to read the switch. The double switch from Kurido loses him a lot of momentum though, and our Chaladon eats that Sacred Sword, surprisingly. And the low kick, holy! Meteor Beam probably coming into Electivire, picks up the kill, but the Chaladon's low, and I don't know that the rest of this team can clean up. Kartana down, but on 6%, I don't think our Chaladon's going to be able to deal with Tapu Fini. It can just protect on the Electroshot, and Latias can clear it up. Ooh, the Draco into Latias, and then yeah, our Chaladon goes down. I mean, Monkey Dory with the poison move, if it's running it, just fake out into Fini, Hurricane damage into Latias. Monkey Dory's down to the Psychic, so it's just kind of Arcanine against the world here. I don't think Arcanine can 1v1 Tapu Fini, unless it's got Terra Blast for that Terra Grass. Kurido uses his Terra for Fairy, resets his Tailwind. Heal Pulse Tapu Fini. Yeah, I don't know that your Maj0r's going to be able to get through that damage, even if he or get through that healing, even if he keeps debuffing it with the Snarl. Yeah, Arcanine takes a big chunk. Latias goes down, but the recoil is probably going to put Arcanine low enough that Feeny just cleans it up. You need a Confusion from Pelipper, and it doesn't get it. I mean, you have one more turn to fish for it, or two, because you have Sash. Oh, Hurricane missed now that the rain's done. Pelipper might be able to live one, so you have another shot at Hurricane, and another Hurricane miss. I mean, this whole series has just been filled with misses. I guess it was a low roll on the first Moonblast into a higher roll on the second, so Pelipper goes down. Yeah, I mean, Kurido with a bulkier lead that doesn't immediately fold to the Arcanine Monkey Dory, and his just kind of bulky options with the Tapu Fini and the... Alright, game 3. I feel like Maj0r's going to need to mix his lead up a little bit here. You know, he's brought the same 4 Pokemon every time, both games so far. Amoonguss and Kingdra just sitting on the bench, so we'll see if he decides to bring one of them in. I have a feeling Kurido's going with the same, bulky offense lead with Latias and Tapu Fini just able to soak these hits. Arcanine and Kingdra this time for Maj0r. I feel like this turn 1 is pivotal. If Kingdra can kill the Latias, it's huge, but if Latias Terras, it's problematic. Alright, just goes for the Protect. Kingdra Weather Balls immediately into the Protect, so Tapu Fini's gonna get some damage on it. Takes more than half. 2-hit kill on the Kingdra is bad. Oh my god, Latias doesn't even die from the Terra Blast. You're in such a bad spot if you're Maj0r here. Your Kingdra is dead. Latias got Tailwind up. At least you trade Tailwind on your own with Pelipper there. Or Archaludon in. Eats the Draco, but I feel like Tapu Fini is just going to be able to clean the Archaludon up here with a Moonblast. Oh wait, Electroshot into Fini? Nukes it. Maybe there's a chance for Maj0r. If Kartana comes in here, it's a little problematic, so we haven't seen this Archaludon Protect yet. Follow me. Sacred Sword kills the Archaludon. Pelipper Hurricane isn't going to do much to this Electivire. Does he get the Confuse? No. So it's just Arcanine versus the world, and Kartana has the boost. Terra Water. Arcanine lives. But you're doing no damage thanks to your own rain into that Electivire. Yeah, Kurido's just able to clutch it up with the Kartana in the back. I feel like the Kingdra just was not the play. With the Terra Fairy, it wasn't really able to eat the Tapu Fini Moonblast, and it clicked right into the Protect on turn 1. You know, I think well played from both players here. Game 1 had a lot of unfortunate misses. Game 2, I feel like was a pretty good slugfest where either team could win, but Game 3, Kurido played it well, protecting Kartana as his win condition. You know, he was able to deal with the Archaludon, get it low enough that Kartana can get the free Beast Boost proc, and then protect the Kartana with Electivire. So, ended up being a big win for him. Best of luck to both these players on the rest of their season. You know, Kurido starting off 1-0. Maj0r taking a game off someone who's considered to be one of the strongest teams in his group. So, good on him, and hopefully we see more of these guys going forward.